Video, I want to ask you about cultural differences between Canada and Japan.
Stuff, but I don't with that. Sorry for swearing.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. First, where are you from?
I'm from Windsor, just like 4 hours south of Toronto.
Okay, what about you?
Same as her.
Okay, so today I want to ask you if these things that are not acceptable in Japan are okay to do in Canada. Okay, so the first one is talking with people over the phone on public transportation. Is it okay to do here?
It's okay, but it's annoying.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
But people in Canada, I think they're always talking with their friends, like a FaceTime, or some people even play music. Yeah, what do you think about it?
Like music out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not really accepted, I guess.
Okay.
Like I think it's kind of like frowned upon because it's like a little bit annoying. But that's pretty much it.
But just talking with your friends over the phone, that's okay, right? Unless you're very like being loud.
Yeah, I'd say having like a conversation on the phone is fine on public transportation. Like some people might give you looks or something, but no one will really say anything to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, interesting. Okay, so next one is mentioning about people's body. For example, if you see your friends for the first time for ages, your friend might say like, oh, did you lose your weight? Did you gain your weight? I mean, did you lose your weight can be a compliment, but some people in Japan even say like, did you get fat? But what's gonna happen if you do it in Canada?
Oh, I feel like that's definitely inappropriate. Yeah, especially among like females. I don't know about like for men, but like for girls, for sure, like you don't want to really be talking about each other's body.
Have you ever received that kind of comments from your friends or from your family?
Family for sure.
Oh, family,
100%. Yeah.
Oh, not from your friends.
Not really. Not from my friends.
Friends are a bit more sensitive to those things. I think family just say what they want sometimes. But it's pretty frowned upon here to comment on people's bodies. Yeah, it's not something you should be doing.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it here. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
or anywhere.
Anywhere, okay. Okay, so last one is slurping noodles. I think just because there are a lot of Asian people in Canada, slurping noodles kind of accepted here, but I think in general in the Western culture, it's kind of a no-no.
I think if I wasn't in like an Asian space or household, I feel like I'd be a little bit more like wary of doing it. But like if I was at a restaurant, like a ramen restaurant or something, like I definitely don't think it would be like an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think it's annoying or whatever?
No, I think it's pretty widely accepted, like that's how you eat noodles here, especially because Toronto has like such a huge Asian population. I think that custom kind of came over here. So it's not unusual to see people slurping noodles when they eat.
Yeah, unless
Okay.
it's like spaghetti or
Yeah.
something. Like
Oh,
that might
yeah,
be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you slurp noodles when you eat ramen?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so it was very good. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. So first, where are you from?
I am from Toronto, Canada, and I've lived here my whole life.
Cool. What about you?
I also am born in Toronto and live here.
Okay, so you guys know about Canadian culture a lot.
Oh yeah.
There isn't much Canadian culture really, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think you guys are pretty familiar with culture in Canada,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, what does that mean though?
Like, I
What do
think
you mean by
there are a
that?
lot of
like habits and things that certain people do. Like remember pre-pandemic, like certain places,
yes, there are a lot of
have
different
different-
cultures out there.
Oh, for sure.
habits and
mean,
behaviors that
wow.
happen here.
Exactly.
Fair.
Okay.
In this video, I want to ask you about cultural differences between Canada and Japan. There are a lot of things that's acceptable or unacceptable in Japan, but not recommend to do in Canada. Number one, talking with a friend over the phone in public transportation. In Japan, you can't really do this. If you do it, you might get stared at by other people.
Oh,
So
interesting.
what do you think about it in Canada?
A lot of people talk on their phones or even like play music out loud, but I think it depends on your volume level. Like if you're like screaming or talking very loudly and abruptly, then you might get some looks from people, but overall I don't think it's necessarily like frowned at. What do you think?
Okay. So what?
We have a super individualistic culture. Like Japan is much more collectivist, right?
Yeah, in some way. Yeah.
In some ways, right? Like if you're sitting on the bus, you're thinking about people's surroundings, like around you, you're respecting them. I feel like here, it's kind of hectic. Like people just don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, like people aren't thinking like when they answer the phone, if anyone else is bothered by it, really.
So unless you're being loud or bothering like other people, everybody does that.
Yeah, it's like generally acceptable if it's not bothering, like super bothersome.
Okay, cool. So next one is mentioning about people's body. For example, in Japan, if you see your friend like for the first time in ages, your friend might say like, "Oh, did you lose your weight? Did you gain your weight?" They might even say like, "Did you get fat?" But it actually happens in Japan pretty often. But what do you think about it?
Do you want to take this one?
Not really.
I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or if it has to do with like my friends and my age and the things that I've learned and stuff, but I don't f- with that. Sorry for swearing. I don't respect that, like calling out people on their bodies when bodies are supposed to fluctuate and supposed to change. But yeah, I don't think culturally, like here, it happens very overtly. I think that it happens in certain friend groups potentially, but it's like a mean thing to say. It's not like a normal.
Yeah.
Be like,
I feel
"Oh, how you doing?"
I feel like our younger age people are like more aware of it, but I feel like middle-aged people they say it all the time.
Yeah.
They're commenting, like if they haven't seen someone in a long time, they'll comment and be like, "Yeah, you've lost weight or you've gained weight,"
Okay.
but we don't really think it's a thing that you should.
Right. By the way, have you received that kind of comments from your friends or your family?
Yeah.
Or... Yes?
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, it's
like,
not fun,
It's
right.
not like an exciting thing. Whether you like mean it as a compliment or not, it's just like I always just say, just don't say anything about it. Just don't comment on it. It doesn't have to be a good thing or a bad thing. Just like,
Right.
you know.
Some people are really sensitive to it.
Yeah. A whole person is not how they look. It's like so much about their personality and like all these other things that you could compliment or insult.
Yeah.
But
So last one is slurping noodles. I think this is not only in Japan, but it's like a part of Asian culture. But if you go to Japan, especially like a ramen restaurant, everybody's like slurping noodles. Everybody making noises. Well, is it okay to do in Canada?
Yeah, I think yes, 100%. I think noodles are meant to be slurped. There's some people that are against it for sure.
I think culturally it is different because like I feel like maybe more people here have problems with the sounds of other people eating. It's like they don't like the sound of chewing or whatever. So it's less common to like be slurping up your noodles as like a sign of this is so delicious. But I think it's fine, personally.
Okay, so you guys slurp noodles all the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you don't slurp pasta. Only like ramen and stuff like
I
that.
would slurp spaghetti. I'm Italian. I would
Okay.
slurp up some spaghetti for sure.
Even like in front of your friends, you slurp pasta?
I would eat with my hands.
Okay.
I would slurp. Yeah.
But if I were to do that around like an older generation,
Oh yeah. Then it's
they'd be
definitely
like,
looked down upon
"What are you doing?"
and not. You just don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you choose to do or not to do depending
If
on the
there's
On
like
your
situation.
elders
surroundings.
around
Your
you,
surroundings.
or if there's just people your age.
Okay.
And just like close friends, then I feel like you're more comfortable eating how you want, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was great opinions, great answers. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. First, where are you from?
So I'm originally from Canada, but my background is Indian.
Okay, so what about you?
I'm originally from India, but I moved here, I would say like 4 years ago.
Okay, so I assume both of you guys are really like familiar with Canadian culture?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay,
Born
very
and
good.
raised, so.
Okay, so in this video, I want to ask you about like 3 things that is accepted or unaccepted in Japan to do.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
number 1, talking with someone over the phone in public. This is actually you cannot do it in Japan.
Oh.
If you do it in Japan, you might get stared at by other people. But what do you think about this?
I mean, it's pretty acceptable here, I would say. A lot of people talk on their phone, especially on their commutes or like even just like walking in the park, chilling. So it's pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
I think it's only when somebody like raises their voice a bit much
Yeah.
when they get like some looks. But I think it's okay for the most part.
Like for example, in the go bus, there's like a rush hour
Yeah.
time, so you can't like really talk in the silent zone. But like I guess
Yeah.
that's when it's unacceptable.
Um,
Aside from that, it's pretty common, I would say.
People sometimes even like playing music loud.
Yeah,
using, like, a
I've
speaker.
noticed.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what do you think about it? I think it's a little bit annoying, but what do you guys think about it?
It can be annoying for sure, especially like I say, if you're on a commute or something, it can be
Yeah.
kind of annoying when you're trying to get home from like school or even like work, because you just want to like hang out and chill and just like
Or like listen to your own music.
Yeah,
even,
yeah.
And
And
not
then
be like disturbed.
disturbed. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But just talking with your friends on the phone is completely like acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. As
Okay.
long as you're not loud and disturbing other people, I think it's
Right.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, so next one, mentioning about people's body. So this actually happens in Japan all the time. For example, if you see your friend for the first time in ages, your friend might say like, oh, did you lose your weight? Did you gain your weight? They might even say like, oh, did you get fat? But it's pretty common in Japan. So what do you think about this?
You shouldn't be commenting on other people's bodies.
Yeah.
I feel like, I know for me, like in my culture, a lot of people used to comment on people's bodies, but like in Canada especially, I don't think that's common. I mean, it's not something you can fix in 5 minutes. I don't think you should bring it up.
Yeah.
So like, wait, yeah, I don't think that's a
No.
good thing.
Yeah, same here. I think back in India it was a lot more common. I think for the same reasons that in Japan. They just feel like comfortable doing so, but I don't think it's as acceptable here.
So people shouldn't do it in Canada.
No.
No.
Right.
Anywhere, but yeah.
Anywhere, yeah. Especially in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So last one, slurping noodles. I think this is part of like Asian culture, not only in Japan, but I think it's pretty completely acceptable and common in Japan. So what do you think about it?
Honestly, I don't have a problem with it because I know when I go to restaurants, I think it's totally fine. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it personally,
Yeah, same. I think people are just enjoying their food, so I don't care either, honestly.
especially if it's noodles. Like, come on,
Yeah.
Slurping
You
noodles,
have to
it's
slurp.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's the way to go, right?
So do you guys slurp noodles when you eat ramen or stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, time to
I
time.
do slurp like tea a lot.
Yeah, yeah, or like soup in general. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But you don't slurp pasta.
No,
That's
no,
different,
That's
right?
different. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah. Hope you have a good day.